Toronto 2017. The office buzzes with energy, but it's not just about desks or coffee machines. At WeWork's sprawling shared workspace, employees sip tequila while chanting chant-like mantras about transforming the world. Adam Neumann, charismatic and mercurial, rallies his cult-like tribe, promising WeWork is more than just a real estate company, it's a tech revolution. But behind the mantra and the madness lurks a question no one wants to ask. What if the $47 billion valuation is built on sand? Neumann wasn't just a CEO, he was an intoxicating cult leader who blurred lines between business and spirituality. But how did his charm turn a workspace into a movement and a fortune into a fraud? At a 2017 board retreat, Neumann hosted a party where tequila flowed and joints were passed around. Investors like Benchmark's Bill Gurley oscillated between amusement and alarm. It wasn't just a startup, it was a frat house on steroids. These indulgences weren't isolated. They created a wild, rebellious atmosphere that blurred professionalism and cultish zeal. Neumann pitched WeWork less as a real estate firm and more as a transformational lifestyle brand. Imagine selling sneakers as if they promised enlightenment. By branding shared offices as a tech community disrupting norms, he flipped investors' skepticism into a frenzy, much like a magician distracting your eyes while the real trick happens in the other hand. Employees weren't just renting desks, they were volunteering for a movement. Many worked long hours fueled by the intoxicating promise that the company would change the world. This cult of personality meant loyalty trumped logic, but it also sowed the seeds of disillusionment when the promised tech revolution turned out to be well-shared space leasing dressed in unicorn glitter. WeWork's valuation soared sky high, but the numbers told a different story. How did a company that barely turned a profit convince Wall Street it was worth tens of billions? In 2018, WeWork's IPO filing revealed jaw-dropping losses, $1.9 billion in the last year alone. Yet the company insisted on its transformative potential, burying red ink under layers of colorful murals and grandiose mission statements. Investors glossed over real losses, hypnotized by the company's rapid expansion into 111 cities globally, all while burning cash faster than a wildfire. WeWork claimed it was a technology company, a label that felt like calling a pizza joint a digital experience platform. The reality was desks, chairs, and leases, classic real estate. But positioning as a tech disruptor invited massively higher valuations, using the industry's rules, where growth potential often trumped profits like a casino bet on the house's edge. The $47 billion valuation was less about actual worth and more about belief, the collective hype of investors and the market. Imagine a skyscraper built not on solid steel but on promises and buzzwords. That faith sustained WeWork until cracks appeared on the glossy surface during the failed IPO in 2019, when reality slammed the door shut. When the IPO failed, WeWork's house of cards came crashing down. But beyond the chaos is a story packed with warnings. Here's what you really need to know. Adam Neumann's outsized ego fueled both rise and ruin. His erratic behavior, like registering the We trademark with himself, personally turned off investors. As the IPO collapsed, Neumann was pushed out with a golden parachute worth nearly $1 billion. It was a send-off few deserved. The man who promised the moon cashed out before the crash. The once vibrant culture based on brotherhood and shared purpose morphed into cultish fanaticism that couldn't mask structural weaknesses. Employees began quitting in droves as the promised tech revolution fizzled, exposing a business struggling with debt, poor governance, and questionable leadership decisions. Culture alone can't save a sinking ship. Early investors like Benchmark's Bill Gurley and SoftBank's Masayoshi Son faced brutal scrutiny. Son pumped in billions but later admitted he missed warning signs of colossal risk. The lesson? Even deep-pocketed investors can fall victim to hype, and due diligence must always look past the charisma to hard data. Wake-up calls can be painful but invaluable. Remember that Toronto office party, the tequila flowing, the mantras ringing out like gospel? That moment captured WeWork's intoxicating rise and inevitable fall. The takeaway: always question the dream as much as the data. Next time you hear a bold promise backed by buzzwords and cult-like devotion, pause and ask, what's really under the surface? Your guard is your best investment. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.